Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Woo, party. Woo, happy Monday morning. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Let's see if YouTube's doing its thing. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Yay. So, welcome back to the Frivolity. Of course, it's another crazy week heading into this Jupiter-Saturn cross, 21st of December. All hell's breaking loose in the market. Interesting to see, our breadth indicator here seems to be suggesting that the big stocks, and maybe we can even look at the industrials, pointing up. So, I don't think it's a good idea to fight that right now. When we start getting overbought again and start rolling over, we'll start thinking about insurance policies. But for the time being, stuff's pointing up. Actually, it's even interesting. Look at how much bullishness we have here. And I get the feeling, man, it feels, look at that. Holy Jesus, everything's going bullish here. I get the feeling we're going to melt up here into this December 21st event. It just feels like it. So you can see Dow sets new intraday record on more vaccine news. It's actually interesting because Kevin was even saying, that's actually old news, so that's a little surprising. I do understand that the Americans were kind of upstaged because the Russians said their vaccine was 92% effective, even though the Americans said theirs was 90%. And now, if I understand correctly, Moderna has upped the ante. Their vaccine is now 94.5% effective. So screw you, Russia. We're 2% better than you. It seems like it's a bit silly, to be perfectly honest with you, how they're doing this, but, typical egos. I enjoy the up market. Ironically enough, it's how extreme, right? Middle of March of last, spring, we were all basically declaring the end of the world. How ironic. Completely opposite. We've had the bankers just recently come out and say, COVID. So here's lots of free loans, and you can do your deferrals of payments and stuff. So I don't hear the bankers turning this spigot off. Was worried about the political situation down in the United States of America. Seems like it's actually resolving itself relatively peacefully. No way of knowing until Mr. Biden has actually been sworn in how the hell this is going to play out. But long and short of it here, sure feels like everything is sort of like, hey, we're just business as usual. Away we go. Had a great presentation today, Monday. We have our Chief Technology Officer, Sjord, come on the call, talking to the audience about building out the screeners. And actually, we have a whole army on TRI actually building out these screeners and all the various different sort of wikis and walkthroughs and stuff of this. It's such a cool platform, I tell you. So, super stoked about that. Of course, Sjord just had a baby, so he's still dealing with stretch marks. No, just kidding. He's very tired, getting little sleep right now, so hang in there, Sjord, if you do watch this later on. Also, too, we do see a lot of this, a lot of funny business going on over there in Europe about now Brexit and the disconnect of the London Stock Exchange with Europe. So a lot of funny business going on there. So be careful, everybody. But, we are sort of heading into that sort of buy when it snows, sell when it goes. Had a fantastic presentation today by Jamie, who's one of our TRI OGs, who's happens to be very interested and really went down the rabbit hole with fundamental analysis and understanding growth models and revenue streams of companies. So we had a really great conversation with him about that. And also, too, it's very difficult to do fundamental analysis in the crypto space. In essence, it's all just that sort of, sentiment play. But he's starting to build models, and one cryptocurrency in particular. He did a very thorough report on today. I won't talk about it because I'm actually bidding. I want to buy some, and I don't want the price to go up. And you know what the hell? If I perked your interest, sign up for the free 30-day trial and come and watch Jamie's presentation today. Really, really great stuff. Solid work. As for my sort of prognostications of the market, unfortunately, I'm in this kind of phase right now where I know that we're coming into some sort of big apex catalyst event here. Prices are moving aggressively higher. I have a very simple mantra: don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. So, you can have prices continually to move higher, and as prices move higher, if it hits double levels, Brian's going to be banging out doubles and letting the market have some, spoon feeding, that kind of thing. But it's so hard for me to do these kind of videos and say, I'm sorry, I can't endorse you coming in and buying Bitcoin. And it's day after day, week after week, just grind higher. This is what markets do. It's very normal. And if anything, it's the job of the market to finally get those people to throw in the towel and go, fuck it, this stupid guy I'm following wants me to buy value and it just keeps going up. Screw it, just buy the damn thing. I'm just sick of watching it every day. I've seen that so many times in my career. So, it is what it is. Try and trade your setups. Try and hunt, value. And interesting enough, when you do hunt value, you actually are okay with sitting on an asset that just kind of goes sideways. I mean, ideally, you don't want it to go down further. What I'm worried about here, of course, I'm one of these sort of risk-first approach kind of guys. What I'm worried about is the market is getting risky again. Doesn't mean it can't keep going up. And like I said, I don't see the bankers stepping in the way. The politicians are totally inept right now. So we don't have any political impetus. We don't have any monetary impetus. Everything's just going to keep going the way it's been going. And of course we have this big honking crazy ass celestial event coming up here, still more than a month away. Ay caramba. So all right, there's your backdrop. So and I've been saying the same message over and over and over again. It must get really boring. I wouldn't even be surprised if we probably lose a lot of viewers because the message doesn't really change from Brian. Heading into that big catalyst, Jupiter Saturn cross, still kind of thinking US dollars ranging. Could we have another dip lower here just to really squeeze out any sort of new or, bottom hunters? I picked the bottom. I'm going to go 100x long. So, could they flush them out on some liquidity dump? You see where chaos levels are just off of this range. And ironically enough, we haven't even gotten to 78.6 off of the original range of this rally. So going to be lots more of this kind of stuff. And, should we get a nice little fear dump, right? Maybe, who says something controversial out of the U.S. down there. Could gold, could Bitcoin, could they all go fucking parabolic straight up into this event window? Sure, absolutely. Since this is a risk-off kind of proxy, and maybe it's sort of like, U.S. government's going to print shitloads more money, whatever. This thing dumps, and of course, all you Bitcoiners, Bitcoin's 100,000 next week. It might happen. I doubt it, but I think we might take a serious shot at those old highs. That's probably if there was going to be a blow off top here through this window in Bitcoin. We'll get to the chart in a minute. I think it's a test of the highs. I don't know whether we can do a hell of a lot more, but we'll see how it goes. Long and short of it here, there's just nothing for a guy like me to do. The only thing I would be doing here is I would definitely be looking at, say, like a 6-month call option and seeing if I could sneak in on a really, really cheap call, looking for a rally back up into 50% levels into sort of late winter, early spring kind of idea, which is, I think, what's going to happen here. Fascinating to see the stock market kind of just floundering up top here. Broke to new highs. The headlines, all the newspapers are going to be like, "Oh, new highs, new highs." You can see she's battling up here. We kind of talked about this. There is a big W, but oh god, W way up there. Ay, 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 ay. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a liquidity pool for whatever the next sort of correction is. Fascinating too. We just had that big Earth Jupiter Pluto conjunct. So they're still fighting through this. Remember, we kind of said we wanted to let this event happen. It's happened now. Now let's see which way we go here. I mean, this might be a trap, and they might just dump her hard. Interesting too. Remember, we were talking about this last week. I didn't actually even pay attention to this morning. So much to look at in this market. Ay, caramba. But we had kind of said that we were going to pay attention for counter trend rallies back up top to see whether we were going to get any sort of trade setups in reload zones. And gee whiz, look at that. Even candle body highs or trade location. Jeez, look at that level there. Who knows what's going to happen here. I did find it kind of interesting. The stock market itself feels a little heavy again, so we'll see. I'm not really the biggest fan of oil, but I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of oil-related names looking uppy. So, I don't know. There's not really much to add to that picture. If now we get a nice little counter trend rally back up against these highs, start giving us actually some entries, maybe we'll talk about trying to short that up top there in the coming week. Interesting. Remember, we looked at that stock chart. There's a big old fat M that's coming in there right now up top there. So bond market, remember we had said watch this gap, because I think this gap was our level. So the market rallied right back up into sort of the very bottom of the gap there the other day, and then sort of stalled here. Kind of looks A, B, C, D. Maybe take us back up into here and then look for that failure. And if this stock market is actually topping out here, then the bonds are probably going to catch a bid. Which actually, interesting enough, brings us to our gold. I do actually, you know what? I doubt there's going to be a trade here. Like, I looked at some of the gold proxies I like, and I just don't see the setup. I see very ugly kind of price action. Having said that, could this thing pivot through here and take off and just go nuts into that celestial event, which is what I originally was expecting? Yeah. But I don't think I've got a bunch of junior gold stocks and stuff on the books. So if gold does go ape shit, okay, fine. But I got a funny feeling what's going to happen here is that this is going to set up a really ugly, dirty trade that just is going to leave me behind. Well, if we do, we got one low, so 2, 3. If we start setting up, I'll get interested again. We talked a little bit about bull-bear battle lines, so you can see the bull is trying desperately to hold on to this bottom here. And actually, I think there was some pretty violent price action, yeah. So there's a perfect analogy. Wow, really great analogy. So, if you're going to come in and buy W's, well, you got to risk down to the break of the bottom of the W. And so that's exactly what this is, right? Let's see if these guys are actually serious about this being a bottom. And that was sort of a big stop flush, probably liquidity hunt back against these lows. And then right back up to where it was originally. What do you think the odds are if we did a high to low fib? This was a reload zone. I'd say probably pretty good. And that's the irony of trading, right? It doesn't matter whether it's a daily, weekly, monthly price chart or here, an hourly chart. It's incredible how these darn fibs just sort of do their job. Well, look at that. Right through the reload zone is where it turned. So, if we are thinking, there's got to be some sort of big face rip move up here in gold into this December 21st event. Clearly Bitcoin's eating gold's lunch here through this entire cycle. But if there is some sort of crazy gold rally here, okay, we got one low, we got two lows. we got a bit of a base. Actually, this one I was curious about the other day. I see that how they. This is the futures, right? They did go to new lows. It'd be interesting to look at something like maybe like a April or a June gold contract. See if that bottom still looks in place there. But as I said earlier, the individual gold stocks, I don't like the look of them. So I don't know. I think I'm probably just going to leave this alone. But I could very easily see that she's carving out some sort of tradable bottom for you gold bugs. So keep your eyes peeled. And I think the silver also looks very similar to that. I suppose if the stock market rolls over and the bonds actually break out here, here's a really good analogy. You can see how the bonds and the gold actually are very highly correlated. So, anyway, we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. Very messy, very ugly. Nothing really trade-wise for Brian to do. Junior stocks versus senior stocks. Kind of the same kind of conversation about how the stock market has moved up, and actually we're kind of petering out here a little bit on the stock market. I don't know. I get the feeling these junior stocks have maybe gone a little too far too fast. If we go down to like a lower time frame, you can remember yesterday in the broiler chickens, right? www.buythefuckingw.com. All that kind of crazy talk. W's, but oh Jesus, look how far this thing has come. Oh boy, look at that crazy ass candle in there. No real M, so I suppose that's encouraging, but at the same time too, it's tough for me to justify saying, hey, yeah, you'll make money coming in and buying up here. Hell, buythew.com, right? There's the W, and that's the end result. So this is also looking, keep in mind, geez, this is straight up since that March. We've been moving one. I guess you could argue through the summer we had a fairly healthy correction in here. So remember I had sort of said, and I kind of think I see this on Bitcoin, but it's going to test my resolve here. But this kind of feels like it's one of these kind of things. Let's take that off, right? Something like, come on, you. It's not going to move. Oh well. Something like that. So then we go like that. And like that. So, I can still point a bit higher there. Remember I showed you, actually that's what this is, right? It just feels like that's the same sort of pattern developed and working. Actually, what's that low? That low is March. That low is April. There's that March low. Right. So I think the whole risk market actually looks very similar to this. So there's your picture. Would it make sense for me to come in and say, oh yeah, buy lots of stuff, you're gonna make tons of money up here? No. Would it make sense for Brian to say, well, if you did have the balls to step in off these lows, just be sure to have your open orders working to sell halves on doubles and spoon feed up top here? That should, sound about right from what usually comes out of Brian's mouth. So, I suppose, great segue heading on over to crypto. I have to say, I'm stunned to see how crypto has just owned gold's sort of purchasing power of a fear asset proxy in this. It's everything that the crypto kids wanted to see happen, and the poor old gold bugs from previous generations. They're just dying 1,000 deaths here. I've sort of said, and I kind of talked about this in the Broiler Chicken show yesterday. We get such a powerfully strong up weekly market here. Oh God, it's tough to say exactly where the hell the top's going to come in. What am I trying to do here? I keep clicking buttons. Get your act together, Brian. There we go. Message really hasn't changed, especially off of like a weekly basis. We're pointing up. Everything's up. So off a sort of longer term basis, there's no top in here. I don't know where the hell the top is. We could be doing this all to 127, which would be sort of a test of old highs, or 1.618. Like I said, we could take out those old highs, and I'm leaning towards 1.618 now. The way this damn thing, it's just got a massive head of steam behind it. And then, is there value there? No, no value whatsoever. I mean, you want to try. I mean, in these kind of situations, it would seem logical to me that the correct thing to do is go into the mining business. Don't go and buy Bitcoins here. Go and invest in mining equipment and mine Bitcoins here, because look at that profit margin. So that's actually what I would say is the smart thing to do here now. But, Brian's an idiot. If I wanted to buy Bitcoins in the open marketplace, of course, I'm going to work my bids where the miners are buying. And, keep in mind, a commodity doesn't want to trade below the cost of production, or else that means the whole damn business of this business would be not profitable and a waste of everybody's time. So it's not like a commodity wants to trade down here, but if I wanted to find value, this is where value is in my eyes. And, especially when we have like politicians and stuff coming out and saying, yeah, Bitcoin's a good idea. You should invest in Bitcoins. I mean, to me, that's classic. Somebody's clearly given her instructions to say Bitcoin's a half decent idea. And we are, we talked about the Earth Jupiter conjunction. Really, what we probably should do is just wait for some sort of consolidation following this event, and then just take that signal. So there is one. I mean, ideally, what I would like to see happen is it just sort of settle down here and range and start giving us like this kind of signals. What's fascinating is when you tell the computer, tell us all the things that are good that we want to see on a chart to be a buyer. And the computer says, okay, well, your time to buy was here. All right, W's, everything I've tried to tell you guys, what W's, www, buy the fucking W.com, right? So do we have W's here? Maybe. I mean, I suppose you could go, well, that's a big honking W, Brian. But that's not really, I think, in your best interests. In fact, what's fascinating about this is actually we do have now confirmed bearish divergence through these pushes higher. You can actually see if we get a volume day on Coinbase here that does less than 11,850 coins. Actually, we get a volume impetus sell signal here. So how ironic. It looks like the bears actually just fell asleep there through the weekend. They just did not show up. So I don't necessarily think that this is bearish. And it's only 11 o'clock here. This day still got another 5 or 6 hours. 10,463, and the magic number there was 11.8. So can we do another 1,400 coins here by the end of today? Probably. So I don't see any volume impetus sell signals there from the bulls. I do see the bears actually falling asleep here, though. So as a result, our indicator, the OBV, is still pointing up. It doesn't look like it's broken down yet, but you can see the writing is on the walls. We get an up day where we do that less than that 11.85 on an up day. That will be very problematic. And of course, Willie is nice and stupid. So this is a frothy market. Politicians saying, Bitcoin's a buy, whatever. That's exactly the same as, my phone is ringing off the hook as a broker. Buy Bitcoin, buy it, I gotta buy it. And they're doing well right now. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to bullshit you. I mean, anybody who just panic bought through here, you're doing well. Sadly, unfortunately, I can't say that this is a low risk entry window. It's not to me. What I think this is we came up against a pretty important technical level. These crazy technical analysts. And you saw some play. And I sort of walked through yesterday and the broiler chicken show how this sort of professional trader would strap on a short, take some profits, move their stop to scratch or something along those lines so they establish a free look. And then you notice through the weekend everything just sort of died down and, exactly what I said yesterday. www, buy the fucking W.com. Clearly that was a level and it came in Later on, yesterday afternoon, early sort of morning, Monday morning, this thing was saying, I don't want to go down anymore. I want to go up. So that's what I'm seeing here. I don't like this market symmetry. And notice how it spiked here. And gee whiz, we're getting that spike here. And then look at what we should expect for the next probably, what is this? This is a 2-hour chart. So that's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 24, or 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8, 40. So about the next 40 hours, we'll say maybe the next day and a half or so, I'd probably be looking for some down here. So, it is what it is. Upside levels. Have we accepted above this 8 to 1? My hunch is, we often see this perfect example over here. Market will blast through one of these Gann angles, right, and goes zipping up. And then it has to come back and has to say, well, did I really want to be above the angle? So that would be sort of my short-term expectation. We also have this cheeky little angle you can see just in very light there. What was that angle? Turns out that was a 1 to 2 angle off of the original low going back to last March. Way back here. Right there. So, this would be sort of the normal, healthy, natural trend line. That level there. So, interestingly enough, us actually flirting with this level, this is, I'm a bull. Right, as long as I'm above this dotted line, the 1 to 1, I'm a bull. And then you actually gauge how much of a bull it is based on which level's trading higher. So as I said, this is that 1 to 2 line, right? So if we zoom out, you can see this. I'm a pretty damn big bull. Well, maybe I'm not so much of a bull, right? That's that 1 to 2 line. I'm a bull. I want to be no, maybe I'm not so much of a bull. I'm still in a bull. There's that dotted line. But now look at it. So we're right back up flirting with that 1 to 2 line. Am I really a rip-roaring face-rip bull? So I think that's also at play here too. Might be a little hard to see that. So that's that line right there. So we've gone up through our 8 to 1. There's that funny little line. I like the idea that if you're looking for sort of ways to get into the long, I would probably watch for a play back against this Gann angle. So that's what it was, a 16.3 or so. Wyckoff check, that kind of thing. A, B, C, Ds, if you had like botted this, I see 1 low, I see 2 lows. How the fuck am I going to get in here? I get the feeling there's some sort of bot continuation trade. Takes you up into this level, which would make sense, right? If we just sort of rode along this angle up here into that level. And then, we think about fibs off of the previous range's consolidation, there to there. So there's 127. That's a pretty popular fib. You can see that's going to be in that level. And if we just do a nice little chaos resolution off of this consolidation range, there's 4.669. It's about 17,000. So I get the feeling that the market wants this 17,000 handle here. It would make sense. Big fat round number into some important levels. Finish A, B, C, Ds, that kind of thing. Does it get there in just one straight push? I don't know. If we go down to like a 30-minute chart, this push higher here. You can see, number one, RSI is already overbought. Willie's stupid, right? We got a nice volume push here, so that's good. We don't have any sort of volume impetus. The bulls have disappeared. Little bit concerned that maybe we're going to get a big div that comes in here, right? If we get that pullback here, that'll confirm that div, and that'll sort of say, okay, bulls, you got to cool your jets, wait for consolidation, blah, blah, blah. So right now, big move off of our broiler chicken show yesterday. I was kind of anticipating that we were going to dip back down against this angle, but she came down into this huge tail here. Just said, that's it. I'm done going down. Turn back up as sort of the adults come back to work, and all these big circles and all PayPals and stuff are all piling money in. So I get the impression Wall Street still likes the story. And interestingly enough, with regard to that, remember I had sort of said here, it felt like price action was very heavy and the tone of the market had changed. I feel like the tone is changing back. Now, is there some sort of driver that might have changed the tone here? And I don't think it has to do with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's playing its fear asset proxy, blah, blah, blah. Let's go look at what Charlie's up to, you crazy guy. Charlie, where's Charlie? Charlie, look at Charlie go, woohoo! And I kind of joked about this. You know, Charlie's actually dramatically underperformed here. And when the hell was Charlie going to wake up? So, ironically enough, I don't think today's story is about Bitcoin. I think today's story is about Litecoin. Look at all those W's coming in. Buy www, buy the fucking W.com. Excuse my French. I'm never going to get endorsed by YouTube, that's for sure. But damn! So, I don't know what type of trader you are. I've actually walked you through this chart literally since the day these things started coming in. The little short-term trader, he's already sitting pretty, getting ready to sell. Medium-term trader, still think there's tons of upside on Charlie. And Moon Boys, keep in mind, Charlie put out a tweet saying that he expects his coin to be at new highs by next October. Is Bitcoin at like $300,000 next October? I'm hearing a lot of people talking like that, so I don't know. But, anyway you shake it, Charlie sure looks good there. So way to go, Charlie. You're doing everything that I had basically anticipated and hoped to see out of you. I don't know. I mean, Ethereum's uppy. Interestingly enough, I think I told you guys recently, I do have orders to buy some puts on Bitcoin into June, looking to take profits probably like middle of March or April or something like that. So I still haven't gotten fills because, of course, I'm a cheap ass. I work stinky bids. Let's see if I got a fill here. Any fills? Any fills? Nope. I do see my order is working. It's right now. Oh, Jesus. The price is still about 10% higher than where I want to be a buyer. So even with this crazy up market, they still won't sell me my goddamn options. Bastards. So I guess I want to see more up. Give me more up so I can get filled on the puts. Crazy guys. I'll leave off today. You know what I did? It was really fun. Of course, we're building out our screener platforms. Tons and tons of ideas. I think I was showing you guys this yesterday. I like to just do a simple, and it was tough for us to do 52-week screens just to give us an idea of some cheap ideas. And wow, man, some great altcoins out there. Where did I put that chart? I hope I have it over here. Oh, isn't that weird? I thought I totally did that. Hold on a second. Where is it? Over here? Oh, fudge. There we are. Look at some of these names. Oh, my goodness. So this is the kind of ideas. This is just one particular screen that we're building up. Like, look at this. This is ridiculous. I mean, and the interesting thing is the public isn't the slightest bit interested in a name like this. But, I mean, I doubt this is realistic. But could we maybe revisit candle body highs? That's $5.19. And here we are at 80 cents. Come on. And I mean, look at the volume. Look at this buying pressure. I don't know what the hell's going on here. But you zoom in. Maybe you should visit my website. www.buythesomething. Look at that. I mean, that's crazy. So, I mean, I don't know whether you want to come in and pay that, but you want to reload zone this kind of thing, maybe work a stink bid down in this area here. It's not a bad idea. And look at that buying pressure. So, this is what I see going on in crypto right now. And of course, like this would be a perfect one. You want to get filled when the market's kind of sanguine through sort of early January, February, March kind of idea, trying to sneak in against these lows. The one that I teased you about that Jamie's interested looks exactly the same. So clearly there's some really fascinating ideas out there. And man, I would just get in there and just start accumulate. I thought it was hilarious that Dash just keeps going here. And the funny thing is, the other day I was squawking about it, and nobody was interested in Dash. I couldn't give the idea away. It's not off this screen. I'll be off of here. I saw that Dash just keeps chugging its way higher. So, all right. I've talked way too much here today. Sure hope you got some value out of this. Have fun. I mean, maybe I'll buy my puts. I don't know whether I'm going to get filled. Sure hope so. That's what I'm doing. Certainly can't be a buyer up here. But if you are long Bitcoins, I mean, fuck, if you had the balls to step in and buy at 6 G's, we'll say, well, 12,000, you should let half go, get yourself a free position. I remember when that happened, a lot of TRIers were super stoked. And that means you should have your next order working up at about $24,000. And actually, I like that number because didn't we say there's a 1.618 up there? I don't remember. Yeah, up here. What's this number? 21,000. Oh, so maybe if you're lucky, you get your big ass spike up into that next double level. Well, that wouldn't surprise me in this market. All right, I think that's it for the rants. Enjoy this blow off top. Who knows where the hell the end of this run is. PMA for the win. Maybe curtail investing and stuff like this right now. I don't know. That's the risk first approach guy talking. I had the same message all the way along here, though. So I'm not going to say that this is easy to tell you guys, look at, I think this is very risky, but it's what I got to do as a risk first approach kind of guy. Buy the fucking W.com, right? So, okay, everybody, have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now.